it's an interesting thing because from the spirit, we're really in the spirit, in a sense, none of this is going on. There's only God, and God is love. And so in the midst of all this going on, there's this underlying truth of love, this truth of God, which is just observing and learning and witnessing, very much witnessing how this is playing out and witnessing how this will be related to. And the more we get to that higher consciousness, the more we can have both the objectivity to proceed in these situations with wisdom, but more than that, that we can really bring the learning forward. And we can support other people to come into the approach of learning and seeing what's going on and being able to be in this but not of this. Because I promise you, every one of you, when you get to that point where you're leaving your body, even if it's not you're going to die, let's say you bang your head and you go out of your body and have a near-death experience, you get out, you pop out of this and you look at it, and this will not mean anything to you like it means to you while you're identified with your body. I won't say it won't mean anything, but the difference will be so radical, it'll shock you. You'll suddenly just be aware that that this is nothing compared to who you are and who we all are. And yet, the art of this whole thing, the majesty of God's creation of all this, is it's been created with such complexity and such sophistication and such allure that it calls us to engage with it with such a complete rapture of focus and absorption that it gives God the chance to learn what God wants to learn. God, what would it be like if reality was this? So God goes, well, let's make it seem like that's reality. And here we are. You know, when the class was called Awakening to the One That Is, the one that is the one that knows it all, the one that is all, the one that we are, that is God. And because it's a remembrance thing that all that God knows is already known to the us that is God, that is awake to the truth of ourselves as divine. So that's the end of all this. We come to that. Along the way, we get to do the dance of karma and the dance of collective actions. And see, here's a funny thing that people don't know and understand about karma. This would probably be worth talking about. I think I talked about it in one class once a little bit. But if we talk about karma, karma means action. When we talk about a karmic field, what we're really talking about is we're talking about a focus of identification. What makes a karmic field is a focus of identification. So for example, if I identify myself and say, if I identify myself as an earthling, that holds me into the karma of this planet in a different way. If I identify myself as a male, it holds me into the karma of this planet a different way. If I identify myself as white, it holds me to the karma of this planet a different way. If I identify myself as smart, well, yeah, I like that one. If I identify myself as spiritual, let's say, or if I identify myself as part of a spiritual group, if I identify myself as part of this class, if I identify myself as married, to Alicia, if I identify myself as with my family, all these things, with that identification, it pulls me into the action of that or the karma of that. Many times when we're working out karma, what we're really doing is we're freeing ourselves from old identifications. The thing is, in the unconscious, because there's no real time for us there, identifications that we've created and held to ourselves through these many lives, or these many different expressions and experiences in this physical level, but also on these other levels of reality, they still have a hold on us. They still define us. And then we limit ourselves according to whatever that is. We shape ourselves, we shape our paradigm of existence according to those different things. And because for every one of us, the journey that we took that brought us to this moment is different and distinct than the obstacles and limitations or the identifications we've created along the way are unique. That's why working with consciousness is so unique, because everybody brings a different configuration of what is so. So if I'm working with you or you, and we're looking at where you are, what's going on, it's one thing to have this ability to tune into the karmic story of you, and that's very useful, but what's more valuable is to know you as, in a sense, the one behind the story. Then if I know you as the one behind the story, then what I do, and what we can all do, is I can know your story as it's known by your soul. So it's like go into a place where we're one as souls and know your story as your soul knows the story. Because then not only can we know the details of the story, but we can know the why of the story, what the soul is attempting to learn in the story and what's not learned. That allows a higher guidance, a higher wisdom to come into the interaction of what we do. And so that wisdom of the soul then guides the action of the interchange. We come to understand that God holds all things as so, and holds creation as so through God, through love. The love is the stabilizing force. Another way of saying it in a bizarre, strange way is that all of reality is held in place by God's love of reality, and God's love of reality is because of God's attraction to it, which is another way of saying that God has given itself karma. And so all of us and all of this then is God's karma, because this is the action that God is playing in. Lord. And part of the amazing thing that keeps us from getting to that place where we can to really go into, well, it's all yours, Lord, is we get very attached to karma. And particularly we get very attached to the karma we like, which we call good karma. So our ideal as human beings is a world and an experience where we just have good karma. And the good karma is the karma we want and want more of, and bad karma is the karma we don't want. So it's all just karma. But because we hold on to our attachment to the good things, that holds us into the identification, that holds us into relating to this reality, into this karma with attachment to the result. And when we do that, we're then subjugated. So in a strange sort of way, it's hard for us to really get as human beings. One of the real solutions is to get beyond the good karma and the bad karma and realize we would rather choose to the no karma. So the no karma is really just saying, it's all yours, Lord. But something us goes, yeah, but I really wanted that good karma for that life where I served so much. I got good things coming from that one, and so we hold on. And one of the ways we will know more than anything else that we're holding on to karma is in our thoughts or in our words or in our actions. If we profess, proclaim, or demonstrate that we think things aren't fair. As soon as we start to play that game of fairness inside of us, we're caught into the karmic flow. Because without realizing, we're insisting that things should be fair. And one of the concoctions that holds karma in play here for us is this whole idea of fairness. Because fairness takes us right back into cause and effect, you reap what you sow. Well, it's only fair if we're all equal then. So these are clues for those who want to really come into the remembrance, the fullness of the Spirit, and the knowing that God is love.